Hi, Heather Sugg here, reporting for FinTech Futures at Fintech Meetup. I'm happy to be joined by Quinte today. Welcome.
Oh, thank you, Heather. Great to be here.
Thank you.
We have a lot to cover talking about hyperautomation. Automation has been a focus for financial institutions for a long time, but the name of the game has changed and what the capabilities are has changed. So I'm excited to dig into it. Why don't we start by introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about Quinte?
Sure. I'm Ankit Maharaj Singh. I work as Senior Vice President for Strategic Growth at Quinte with the brand for now 15 odd years. And very excited to be here at FinTech. A lot of excellent brain power, and I'm trying to learn and interact and ideate at the same time. So happy to be here. Thank you.
And my name is Sharad. I'm a VP of AI and Automation, driving the AI growth in fintech and businesses.
Right. And Quinte, as a brand, we are an automation and analytics company servicing financial institutions, both banks, credit unions, regional banks, large banks. And it is our vision and mission to be a value driver partner for banks as they move into the digital transformation.
Let's just dive in right there from the beginning. Talk to me about why financial institutions should care about automation.
Sure.
Yeah. So hyper automation is one approach where banks can now take automation, island of automation in one encompassing the direction. Now, usual automation take you 20% automation. Now this can take up to 80-90% automation. But automation is not the only reason. It's customer service, its impact maybe on sales. It is dramatic. So I think this is a fantastic time to look into hyper automation and get those productivity gain, elevate the customer experience.
Yeah, and just to add on, I think amongst cost reduction and other aspects, I think the idea of sales and member/customer satisfaction is so important. And hyperautomation, is basically your driver for that. So you can cross-sell, you can upsell, you can make sure that you can respond to members instantly. We have Gen Z, as our customer base now, and they need answers now. If they don't get an answer in a minute, they're going to move on to the next institution. So hyperautomation allows us to kind of govern that properly with the regulatory governance in check.
The term that we're using, is hyperautomation synonymous with AI, ML, RPA? How do we draw the lines and define it here?
Great question.
Great question. So it is an approach which encompasses everything. It encompasses AI, it encompasses ML, digitization and RPAs, and in fact human in the loop also, which is very, very important aspect. So it is one way where organizations are now beginning to bring in all of these automation tools, bring it together and bring in the efficiencies what you need.
And at the same time, with hyperautomation, and the difference is that, it is your driver for digitalization, so that it's not the same thing. And, in our experience working with banks and credit unions, what we've learned is that it is, it's not important to automate 100%. There has to be the human intervention. So the humans have to use automation correctly. It's not a replacement. It is, a step forward to make it more efficient.
Where do you see the best practice of the intersection between that human interaction and the automation?
Excellent question. I think it's at everywhere, in fact. So wherever decisioning is required, human used to be required more and more of. Now, the human is still required, but it is required where the empathy part is important, where customer understanding thought process is very, very important. But you don't need to bring in human in the transactional processes, like change my, can you cancel my account? Is one part where there are many manual and transactional piece, but then you have a human which is asking, may I ask you, what is the problem? Why you want to cancel your account? That's where human need to be. So human need to be in managing experience and intent, but not the transactions.
Yeah, and actually that kind of maps to what, our definition has been, that, let the humans do the heavy, like impact or focus more on the member satisfaction, customer relations, making sure the true questions are answered. And it's the heavy lifting which the automation can do. I think that really helps. That's the journey where, if a customer calls in your contact center for any reason, there could be some that can be handled easily and quickly rather than waiting on the phone for 20 minutes. You're on hold. Nobody likes to hear that. So I think that's where we have to fine tune the policy, the governance, the aspect of member satisfaction, along with, the cost aspect, and map that correctly between the two.
Mhm. That makes sense. And being at shows like we are right now, we've seen a lot of things gain in traction on the gain in the hype cycle. A lot of things that people jump on. AI has been a big topic about that recently. How do you see hyper automation in the hype cycle right now? Is it something that we're going to hear a lot about? Are there real use cases now?
No, it is very much. First of all, it's not a hype. It's for real. Companies, what we are seeing, are seeing 70-80% improvement in productivity, cost reduction, and they are not only cost reduction, but dramatically higher customer experience. Because as you said, that the instant reply, instant gratification is now is being enabled by hyperautomation. So no, it is very much real. And you would have seen Gen AI. So we have seen, with early client who are using Gen AI and automation together, can automate simple requests of hundreds of varieties of customer requests instantly now. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other part that we've seen from these hype words or these key hashtag words is that, Gen AI is great. It is so important now, and it's kind of created the industry to the next frontier. However, what we've understood is about the biasness that it gets, the hallucinations that come up. You create a bot, you don't know where the data is coming from and what is the answer that is being given. How do you cross-check that? So I think the aspect of what we've done in our creation of automation products is that we want to make sure that the bot is self-aware. So we are trying to utilize that intelligence to make sure that the information that is going back is actually accurate, and it does not create more trouble than a solution for the institution. Yeah.
Financial institutions have been automating for a long time now, and you've described hyperautomation as an automation 2.0. So how does an institution know what stage of automation they're at?
Right. Great question. I think the key answer to that is, if you think that you are, too many decisions being taken by human, and I think the key part is, if humans are doing mundane thing, um, looking in for information, getting that answer to the customer, that's the place you should begin with. And if typical processes are very easy to identify, that the processes in customer service, process in sales, which are done heavy lifting, very transactional. It's not adding value to the customer, but yet you are employing the people. Use cases are many, but like use cases in customer service, use cases in collection, use cases in sales, marketing, where you are using human for chasing the lead, for example, or making a call to a human when your payment is due. So these are the simple things where humans are not required, where humans are required to manage bank's experience. And yeah, so these are the areas.
Right, and just to add on, I think the place where the banks and credit unions need to focus is to understand that getting a platform is not automation. What you need to do is you need to do a study of the process. What is required? There might be just a small Excel, MS Excel macro that needs to be created rather than a bot.
Yeah.
Automation is formed in so many different ways. You need experts to assess the process, to deep dive, to do interviews with the process owners, with the people who actually do that work, and then find the element on, hey, this is the product A, B, C, D. Can I remove C? And what is the lift that I will get? So I think it's very subjective to the activity. A contact center versus a loan versus collections versus treasury. There are 4 different genres within banking. That is why it is so complex.
It is. So from an enterprise level, how do you suggest someone approach implementing this?
Yeah, in our experience, as I just said, what we believe is to, deploy kind of a consultative approach. let somebody come in and do a deep dive into your process and give you a report, or that, hey, this is at the industry benchmark. If you're at this service level, it's great. You below, you need to make a few changes, or you're really bad. This needs an overall. So people like Sharad, the other experts that can come in and help the institution to understand what's right, look in the mirror.
And more important, I mean, so there, as you said, there are two aspects to it. One is business aspect. Are you getting the enough ROI? What is the ROI you need? What does the cost structure look like for this process? All business questions, good question. Estimate that if you are starting your implementation journey, important question. But the other technical aspect of it is more around how, so first is like the customer's data sensitivity. So do you go on cloud versus, so what is its technical architecture look like? What kind of, do you use on cloud, on premise? Do you use, what kind of database you use it? Because here you will have to use a vector databases. Now, you'll have to use guardrails for securing your LLMs. Now, what kind of guardrail you use? So these are important technical questions, and sometimes it impacts your ROI. So it is important to know what is my technical architecture and what is ROI it is going to give. And once you have that exercise using this, obviously this has to be done in consultative way. There's no cookie cutter approach here, but and that's why it is not, taking a product. It's more like you have to be consultative. You have to do all of these things, technical and business, to arrive at the answer.
It's a door that needs to be opened, a journey to begin, and I think you can start at any point and start small and build the project list and keep building there.
Yeah, and we're very excited to, partner with banks, and the idea is to, provide value, not provide a bot, but provide a more efficient way to do the same activity. So I think we're very excited to be here, and I think the FinTech Meetup is the great experience for everybody to get.
Love to hear it. Was there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I mean, for us, I would say that our hyperautomation, I can confidently say has unique IP built on top of it. As Ankit mentioned, it's a self-aware Gen AI technology on which it is built. So it's not a dumb bot which is doing all of this, which was a previous age, and that's why a lot of automation effort failed. But here's an opportunity to interact with human-like automation, but not done by human.
Well, thank you very much. It's been great chatting with you.
No, thank you so
you.
much, Heather.